I'm kind of curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
Canadian here. Right after I moved to America, I went to the Social Security office so that I could apply for a Social Security number so that I could work in America. I went up to the little kiosk and I punched in that I was applying for my very first Social Security number. And the man who was working there said, "Excuse me, ma'am, you're going to want to punch in that you're applying for a replacement card, not a new number." And I said, "No, sir, I don't have a Social Security number. I am applying for the first time." And he said, "And you're an American?" And I said, "No, sir, I actually just moved here from Canada just a couple of weeks ago." And he said this. "Ma'am, I have to say, your English is amazing." Yeah.
So these are things that Americans have asked us in the past. We're both Canadian. I got asked one time by an American if we have TVs in Canada. One time a guy asked me what state Canada is in.
Someone once asked me who our emperor was. I was like, we don't have an emperor, we have a prime minister. And they're like, oh, is he like the boss? Also, the same person asked me if we ride snowmobiles to work, which, to be fair, in like northern Canada, if you're from like the Arctic, then like actually yes, but for most part, and people in Canada live near the south.
Yeah, like we're like just bordering the states.
Yeah, so no. Okay, when I was younger, I was a swimmer and we used to go to Florida training camp, and I'm not even kidding, people in Florida would ask us, how do you know how to swim if like everything is made of ice there?
Oh my god.
Also, we are known to say sorry a lot, or sorry, eh? But like we don't talk like that. I don't know if it's
or oot in a boot.
Oot in a boot.
Like I've never heard that.
It's because we're from Quebec, maybe, so we're like a French province, but I don't know.
I feel like it's more like that in like Nova Scotia. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, maybe. Watch all the Nova Scotians be like, we don't talk like that.
I have a question for anyone who has about more than 3 brain cells. So if you have that, please let me know this answer because it's genuinely confusing me. I still don't understand it. I've done Google searches. I still don't get it. Okay, so I'll bring you up to scratch. I found out that America is a continent. Is America a continent? The Americas, is that a continent? Is it a continent? I don't know. Let me know. That's the first question I got. Number 2, I thought the USA and America were the same thing and people just use them interchangeably. No, the USA is a country that's part of the America. I don't know. Like, someone give me a brief, like, step-by-step, stage on how to understand this. And then I found out that Canada is not a part of the USA. I already knew that. I'm not that dumb. But it's part of America. Right? Someone just like give me some geography lessons, because geography, I used to fall asleep in the lessons, and we never learn about America. Someone give me a brief overview on what I just covered. Is America a continent? USA and America are not the same thing, correct? And Canada is a part of what?
Now that the Americans are gone, I think we should start making fun of them behind their backs. I'll start. Here's one of the dumb things an American has said to me. It was actually one of my best friends. Shout out to her, love her to pieces. This was not her best moment, and I acknowledge that. She asked me, in Canada, do you learn that, like, America's the best country? And I said, what? No. And she was like, we learned that it's, like, America's the best country. I was wondering if you guys learned that, too. I'm giving her benefit of the doubt here, right? So I'm like, yeah, it's like one of the most influential countries in the world, like very powerful country. And she goes, no, but like, did you learn it was like the best country? And I'm like, no, did you? And you believed it? Anyways, that was crazy.
One time I was in high school and this girl asked me what I was. I told her I'm Egyptian, my family's from Egypt. She said, no, tell me the truth, where are you really from? I told her I'm not lying, I'm from Egypt. She said, no, you don't understand. Egypt literally doesn't exist. And I was like, no, it actually does. I go there every summer to visit my family. She's like, no, you don't get it. Egypt literally doesn't exist. The US is the world. There's no other country. I said, so what are they teaching us in history then? She said, oh no, those are just stories. Egypt doesn't exist.
What's some dummy shit that an American has said to you as a foreigner?
Unfortunately, I have way too many of these stories, but I'll pick the worst one. So I used to be a tour guide for the university that I went to. And before we start the tour and start walking everywhere, I usually say something corny like, I'm gonna be walking up front here, blah, blah, blah. If any of you guys wanna give me company, it's lonely up here. We can chit chat, whatever. I'll say something like that. So a printer paper person came up to me and was like, hey, I have a personal question for you. To which I'm excited. Oh, they're coming up to me. Yes, personal question. This is probably about financial aid. It's about women's safety. It's about something like that. I was wrong. This man asked me why I was allowed to be in school and that he assumed I was Indian and why haven't my parents gotten me an arranged marriage and how was I allowed to be in school. And mind you, he was not quiet, so everyone on the tour heard me and I had to answer in front of everybody. Also in front of students walking by.
Okay, so I'm from Indiana. I'm from the Midwest. Temporarily, though, I used to live in Los Angeles before moving out to the East Coast. So one day I was in LA and I was like, okay, I want to change banks. I no longer wanted to be with the bank I was currently with. So I go in and I went to the teller and I was like, hey, I just want to close my account if that's okay. They're like, yeah, no problem. And I go, perfect. They're like, can we see your ID? I said, yeah. Hand them my ID and they're like, I'm so sorry. Do you have a United States ID? That's just what we're going to need to go ahead and confirm. I said, that is my Indiana ID. This is my driver's license. I'm from Indiana. And they said, no, I'm so sorry, but this is not a United States ID. Do you have any other form of ID? They're like, this says Indiana. I go, I know. Indiana is a state. I'm from Indiana. And they said, no, I need to see a United States ID. And I was just like, I'm sorry, what is our education system?
I'm from Niagara Falls, and at least 5 times a night at my restaurant job, an American would ask me when we turn off Niagara Falls. When do we turn it off? I told them 10 p.m. every night.
Are you telling me the American education system is the best in the world?
Yes.
Let's test that out. A farmer has 17 sheep, all but 9 die. How many are left?
0.
And they literally let you graduate without basic math skills?
When an American asks a Canadian where they're from, so where are you from? Winnipeg. What? Vancouver. Huh? Edmonton. Toronto. Oh, you mean where Drake's from? Yeah, I know that place. Yeah. Thought so.
Seriously don't think that America could build a bigger maple syrup factory? America's bigger than Canada and we have better maple syrup. Okay. Number 1, maple syrup isn't made in a factory, it's made in the trees. Number 2, and I can't believe I have to say this, America is not bigger than Canada. It's really not hard to fact check me on this one. Just look at a globe, or a map, or literally ask anyone in the world this question. Not in the United States, but in any other country. What the hell are they teaching you in American schools?
Hello, welcome back to the channel, and Canadians have finally started revealing some of the strangest questions America have ever been asked about Canada. And honestly, some of these are so unexpected that you might have to hear them twice. We're talking about questions that made Canadians stop and think, like, wait, you actually believe that? From wild assumptions about Canada's weather and wildlife to question about Canada's cities, culture, and everyday life. These stories have left Canadians completely speechless. And the curious part is, some of these questions weren't asked as jokes. They were very serious. I mean, they were dead serious. So, today, we're taking a look at some of the funniest and the most unbelievable questions Canadians say they have heard from Americans. And trust me, folks, the last one might be the question that makes you look at your screen and say, there's no way someone actually asked that. Yeah, I'm serious. So folks, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're watching me for the first time, like my video and share my video too.
Oh, hey, where are you from? Oh, Cali. What about you? Oh, I love California. I'm from Canada. Oh, that's like Northern Cal, right? Oh, well, it's north of California, but no, it's its own country. We're like your northern neighbors. Yeah, we're like America's hat. Okay, then.
I was working in a restaurant close to the American border. and this couple came in and they were bragging that they were going on vacation. So I asked, that's wonderful. Where are you going? They dead ass said, we don't know, we're going to fly there.
Yo, I've heard of this stuff. It's like your national drink, right? What, bro? Like, I had to get them, dude. They don't even sell them in the States.
Yo, why is this in French, though?
Yo, is this your guys' like Disney World or something?
That is not correct.
Oh, so you're just like copying everything we do now? Boston Pizza, bro, really? We're nowhere even near Boston right now. Like, stay in your lane. Yo, but like, is your water safe to drink here? I don't want to get like sick or anything.
Telling me I could drink here at 19? Why the hell am I in America?
Anyone tell me why there are so many freaking bags of cereal? I thought it was dog food.
Bag cereal? That's insane. That just doesn't make any sense. Americans, am I right? Gotta love them.
I'm kind of curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
That Canada doesn't have a navy. Me and my friend had a good laugh about it.
That's a good question. This is a really good question. Name a word Canadians spell with a U that Americans do not.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. We got the education level of the room right off the bat here. Name a word Canadians spell with a U that Americans do not. That's Thomas.
Love.
What is that even? Stop. What is, give me an explanation of that answer.
L-U-V.
L-U-V.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Show me wrong. Denise, name a word Canadians spell with a U that Americans do not.
Luck? I don't.
Luck. This is awesome. Show me luck. All right, Hillary.
Color.
Color.
Many people find these questions hard to believe, and rightfully so. People have pointed out the education system, the power of propaganda. I think it's probably both of those. But one thing that I want to address is how some people have commented that they think people are just lying. They think that, oh, these people, they have to be lying, they have to be joking with you, they have to be rage baiting you. So as a recovering American, I want to explain why that's not the case, at least not usually. Obviously, these are just generalizations, but in my experience, here's what it comes down to. Americans have a sort of cognitive dissonance about the world. There are some ideas that obviously, logically, make no sense, that I think if most reasonably educated Americans sat down and thought through them, they would probably, hopefully, be led to the conclusion that they just can't be true. The polar bear thing. The no electricity thing, right? Like, obviously, those can't be true, but the thing is, people don't sit and think through things. They do not assess the other things they know to be true before saying whatever off the top of their head. Americans often walk into unfamiliar situations thinking they know nothing, but also somehow that they know everything. It's a hard thing to explain, but it's not a joke. I think because the lived experiences of Americans are curated for them in so many ways, that they truly believe that their reality is the reality. They are the main character, and everything they see and do is normal. And if anything is ever slightly different than that, then the whole thing falls apart for them. And this could be applied to anything. Work, entertainment, daily life. I have met so many people who have been shocked, baffled to learn that we do not have Target here. And before you run to the comments, yes, I know, we used to have Target, don't remind me. But when I tell people this, it is such a big deal for them that they begin to question everything they know about anything. They're like, well, if you don't have Target, what do you have? Do you have stores? See? Stupid question. Another example, gas stations. Obviously, gasoline is priced and distributed in liters here, much like most of the world, and not in US gallons. But the idea of a US gallon is so pervasive to Americans that the concept of a gas station not using them is just unconscionable. It might as well not even be real. They don't even recognize the concept as being analogous. These people have a really hard time taking places at face value for what they are. If something is not exactly the same, then it's now completely foreign, and there's no in between. And that's a real challenge being in a place like Canada where so many things are similar, but there still are some differences. I used to be guilty of this myself. When I was a kid, I was one of those nerdy tech kids. And when I was probably 11 or 12 years old, I was learning about internet TLDs, or top-level domains, which are like the little letters that a website ends in. Obviously, a lot of American companies made websites for their American audiences first, and so when they made their website, they would end it in .com, which stands for commercial, because they're a company. So the majority of businesses in America, when you go on their website, it almost always ends in .com. But, as we also know, a lot of American companies operate in other countries. And to avoid confusion and make sure they direct audiences in the right country to the right website, they will create other websites with different TLDs for each country they operate in. Canadians are very well aware that our TLD is .ca. Pretty cool nickname, right? So for example, Americans shop on Walmart.com, whereas Canadians shop on Walmart.ca, and so on. And I remember being 12 years old and thinking, .ca? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Thank God I don't live in a weird place where we have to type in and memorize weird website names. And I just know that there are some Americans watching this video right now thinking, well, he's right. That does sound kind of weird and stupid. But I would tell those people, just as I tell my old self often, it's not that deep. Take things in other countries for what they are, which is a little different sometimes. When you apply logic to situations but let your mind go free of the meaningless expectations that are attached to them, you will be amazed at the way it changes how you see the world.
Yeah, thanks once more for tuning in. And Canadians say they have been asked if Canada is always freezing, whether they really have cities, and if they regularly encounter moose and bears in their neighborhoods. You can imagine that. But here's the thing. Canada is one of the largest countries in the world, with massive cities, beautiful beaches, modern highways, and millions of people living completely normal lives like each and everyone. So, when a Canadian hears questions like this, they can't help but laugh. But honestly, the funniest part isn't that someone doesn't know the answer. They know. It's the confidence which they ask the question. Because Canada and the United States are neighbors. Yet sometimes it sounds like Canada is a mysterious frozen planet on the other side of the world. Right? So Canadians, what's the dumbest question an American has ever asked you about Canada? Drop your comments in the comment section, but always remember to be respectful. Because judging by these stories may have only scratched the surface. So folks, I won't say much for today, and make sure you tune in the next episode, and peace Canada and peace America. We'll meet again in the next episode. Thank you for watching.